Welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Mugdha Yevlikar and I'm Assistant Professor of Religious Studies. And we have Dr. Professor Zaki Ibrahim, who's our Chair of Religious Studies. The purpose of today's presentation is to orient our studies students with the process of measure, and we are going to list and talk about what are the steps in advising. And this material is also listed and published on our website. You're right now viewing our website. Professor Ibrahim will walk us through this process now.
Okay, welcome again to everyone. As Professor Yolika said, we wanted to take you through the registration process, and I'm sure the university also has a process that they are going to take you through. So no matter what you say, there is an important part that you have to take, the university has to take you through to make every advisement a whole one. So we are just going to concentrate on our department, no matter how many courses you are going to take in the university or from the university. You need your major department requirement to be fulfilled, and then the university requirement also to be fulfilled in order for one to get a degree. Without fulfilling these diverse requirements, one cannot graduate. Okay, so but specifically for today, we just want to highlight some important parts that a student need to go through in order to fulfill the requirements of our department. If we were not on Zoom, or if we were advising on campus, we would have taken you through specific courses that you need to take from semester to semester and make suggestions. Eventually, it is up to the student to take. So I'm going to share with you something we call a roadmap. This roadmap is all the courses, specific courses and requirements that one has to fulfill in order to finish the entire program in the university. Every department has their roadmap. So let's go through this roadmap and see.
And I wanted to add a little bit here as Professor Ibrahim shares his screen, and that is our department is a small department and we care for every single student. So, like he mentioned, after you start working on your degree, we are very much here to help you out. This presentation is just the starting point.
Is my roadmap showing, Dr. Yolika?
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
very good. So as I've just mentioned, this is a roadmap that we created in conjunction with the university, with the Dean's Office, Humanities and Social Sciences Office, Humanities and Social Sciences faculty, the Dean's Office. They gave us some guidance to come up with these requirements. If you are admitted, I'm sure by now you are familiar with the TDA, where the courses that you are supposed to take for the entire duration of your stay on campus, they would be listed there, and they would tell you when to take what, or what courses you are supposed to take. So they are broken down into general education requirements. That's part of the university requirements, and they also consist of the department requirements. They also consist of university electives. So all these together, one has to take in order to fulfill the requirements. And the general process or the procedure that the university suggests is for incoming freshmen to concentrate more on their university general education requirements in the first few semesters. So if you look at the freshman year, the requirements in there, you will see that the field of general education requirements. And in fact, for fall semester, that's semester 1, you see that only one religious studies course one may take. Some other departments, for the first 2 semesters, they don't even allow you to take any major requirement in that from the department. They ask you to concentrate on the university GE requirements. But we decided to put in the first semester, you see religious studies where the cursor is. This religious courses, introductory classes, and also there are lower division courses as well. So you can take one religious studies 100, 105, 110. If we will go down and you will see the names and the titles of these courses. So
Yes,
don't worry about that.
yeah, quickly to add, these courses are all introductory courses. One of them is Introduction to the Scientific Study of Religion, then you have Religions of the World, and so on. But they are introductory level courses.
Very good. So you see that, so if we would suggest that no matter what our major should see us and consult with us, if it were pre-pandemic, we would meet on campus and talk about what courses you need to take. But during pandemic, we can do everything through Zoom. So no matter what, we suggest that you consult with us. But in the case that you did not consult with us and you are running out of time and you are going to register, this is why this roadmap is very useful, so that you can know at least if you take one of these courses for your first semester, that means you are not doing badly or you are not going astray. When you come to the second semester, that's spring semester, you see that there is no religious studies course there. Okay, like I said, some departments, they don't just, for the first 2-3 semesters, you don't take the major requirements, but we want our students to take. So even though we haven't listed religious studies major requirement here, you can still take any course there. In other words, you can look for the sophomores fall semester, one of the courses there, and then you can take it in the second semester as well. So in other words, you are following the roadmap, but you are following it ahead of time. In other words, you can take these courses in the sophomore year, you can take them in the second semester in your freshman, okay? Which means that you are delaying one of the GE requirements here to take it in the sophomore fall semester. So that is the idea. And you can do this without problem, because we would be giving you advice. If you skip one of this, your TGA will remind you, and we can also remind you when you are meeting us for advisement as well. So that, in other words, if you skip a GE area A2 for the second semester, it would be advisable for you to take it here as well in the fall of your sophomore year. So that is how it goes in terms of following this strictly or deviating from it a little bit. Okay, so after you finish your second semester, whether you take the major requirement for religious studies or you didn't take, then you come to your sophomore year, and you will see we have religious studies lower division. But the difference between the first semester lower division And second year lower division is the first year ones are introduction, but the second semester, the second year, which is 200 or 201, 250, they are also lower division, but they are part of the university, our major requirement that we call categories. So even though they are upper division and lower division, they are also based on categories, which we will talk about shortly. We have 4 categories now in our department. It used to be 8, believe me or not. It used to be 8 now, but we streamlined it. It is now 4. So the one category would be
so maybe
introduction.
Can I quickly jump in and
Sure. What?
introduce? So the 4 categories that Dr. Ibrahim is referring to are basically the 100 level courses, which are introductions, methods, and texts type of courses. Then you have religious traditions 1, which means Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So one, you have to take courses from that category, which is religious traditions 1. Then you
These are
have,
showing now.
yes, and
Exactly.
then you have religious traditions 2, and those are basically Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. So you have to take courses from that. And finally, you have the 4th category, which is religion, culture, and experience. So we'll talk in details, but I just wanted to give you an overview that this is how the categories are organized. So the first year you come here, you are going to learn about, let's say, 30,000 feet view of religious studies as a discipline. But then you start going deeper into the understanding of specific religious
Religions.
traditions.
Very good.
Go ahead,
And
Dr.
under
Ibrahim.
those
Yeah.
specific religions, you will see lower level, upper level, you see, and so on. And then we have the religion and culture and experience. Okay. So going back to our roadmap, that would help you if you see any religious studies course somewhere, anywhere on the roadmap. They are meant to fulfill the 4 categories that we just talked about. You see, so they are meant, and some of those, 2 of those categories have lower division and upper division. For example, category 1, category 2, which is religious tradition 1, it has lower division and upper division. Category 3, which is religious tradition 2, it has lower division and upper division. So you will see these reflect in the roadmap as well. Okay, so that makes it easier to follow. But whether you understand it now or not, if you just stick with this roadmap in terms of the title or whatever it is, you would be safe. For example, in the first semester, religious studies major, that's introduction. So you take one course from there and it will fulfill the requirement. When you are, if you stick with this and you are taking religious studies in the 3rd semester, that's your sophomore, religious studies 200, that is fulfilling religious tradition 1, which is part of our category 2. But as you can see, they are all lower level classes as well. So if you take some here, you come here and you take another one in spring, that's semester 4. So that also would fulfill the requirement. Like we just said, once you take these courses, they are actually fulfilling the 4 categories that we talked about. Okay, if you take 200 here, you wouldn't need to take it here again. Then you would need to take the category, the religious studies tradition 2. So, and you will be fulfilling the requirements. So that's how you have to follow. And one observation is that in the first few semesters, you see that we are offering you one option. But as you go to junior level and also senior level, you see that you are going to be asked to take multiple, either 2 courses each semester. For example, if you are on your junior year, 4th semester, there is religious studies major course methods. That's 300 every student has to take. This is one of our capstone courses, but at the same time, you have option for religious tradition 1, which is category 2, but it is upper division. You see, the second semester, we were talking about religious tradition 1 or 2, but lower division. Here, it is category 1, tradition category 2, but religious tradition 1, which is upper division. So you see that you take 2 courses in one semester here, and then in the spring of your junior year, you have options to take religious tradition 2, that's upper division, and then text courses. Let me mention this. You see here text course. Before, it used to be a category on its own, but now we have it as part of the introduction, methods, and text. All of them are under category 1. You see, so and to looking at my cursor, you see that the first 3 courses you take 1, they are part of introduction. The second 2 courses, you have to take both of them, but they are part of methods. And the third portion, there are 4 of them, but they are part of text, and you need to take only 1. So we have revamped this program in order to make it easier for students. So you see, you take 1 in methods, 1 in introduction, 2 under methods, and 1 under text. So if you going back to the roadmap, when I mentioned text under your junior year here, I was meaning in the category 1, the 3rd level of category 1, you see it was mentioned text. So we offer courses in that, and everybody has to take that. So whether you understand, like I said, now or not, if you just stick with this, you are actually fulfilling the requirement, okay? And if you meet with us, we will explain to you, and it will be clear for you, okay? So this is the junior year. As I mentioned, the special thing to note here is that we are taking 2 courses in each semester now for the department. But the interesting thing is that there are electives also from the department and from the university. So you are going to be taking them as part of your program. In the beginning, you see that the GE requirements were everywhere. So the expectation is that by 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th semester, that's your sophomore year, you must have completed all the GE requirements. And now you will be left with taking more on your major requirements and electives. Okay, as you will see, the university, even though we have only 36 units to fulfill the department requirements, you still have to fill the university 120 units. So that 120 is more, of course, 36 from 120, 36 is from the department, and 84 is from the GE, from the electives and all that. They come to constitute the whole bunch of the 120 requirements. So that is how how one graduates with 120 units. And it might not be clear to you now, but once you start and you see that you are fulfilling the requirement here and there, and suddenly you are complete you've completed all the requirements. So the final part I wanted to mention is the junior year and the senior year, they are almost the same in terms of the category of courses you are taking. But you can see here, religious studies, religion, culture, and experience is here. Religious studies methods is here, you take it. But as you can see, the culture and experience is showing up, but you go down to look at that part, you see that you only need 6 credits. So that's why it showed up only in the senior year in the roadmap. You have it in the first semester of your senior year, and you have it also in the second semester. So that means you have fulfilled that requirement. But at the same time, religious studies upper division, you are still having them opportunity to take them and having opportunity to take the electives as well. And by your 4th year, you are. One important thing to remember is this is assuming that you are going to be taking 15 credits a semester. Some students can take less, others can take more, but the university suggests that you take 15 if you are going to be on track to graduating within 4 years. Okay, so we are assuming again that you are going to be taking 15 credits, 15 units in order to fulfill this requirement. If you miss, it's not a big deal. Like if you take 12 for some reason, it's not a problem. You can catch up, make that up either in the summer or if worst comes to worst, you can take another semester based on your own discretion. It's up to you. So that's how we expect you to take the classes. Dr. Yolika, you want to just mention about this catalog link?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have we have the link which actually gives you list of all the courses, right, and course catalog. And if you click on it, it's going to give you the shorter description. Again, if you need a longer description syllabus, you can reach out to the person who's listed as instructor on there, or you can reach out simply to one of us and we will connect you and give you the syllabus to give you idea about what's entailed in that course. So here is the course requirement and everything is clickable, simple.
And that's very important. This is your best tool in terms of reliability. What I was just telling you is the same as this one, but this is the official university catalog for if you are interested in learning about one class or a particular requirement, then you can go to the link, the catalog link that we provided, and then you would click the class and then you will see description of the class. But at the same time, the categories, 4 categories that I told you about are listed here, just the same way. Okay.
One of the tips to plan your years, especially I would say your year 3 and 4, would be to look at which courses are offered in spring and which are offered in the fall, because we offer some courses only in the fall and some only in the spring. So I think that's a very important consideration as you're planning on your own. Of course, when you come for advisement, we will also give you a clear instruction about this.
Exactly. And it's not very common, but in case there is a course you needed to take for graduation and it's not offered, for example, the advisors, we can advise you to take another course, and then we would use that course to fulfill that requirement that you need. It's not, we are not rigid, and the university is not rigid, but there is a system where when that happens, we can fill a form in lieu of the requirement that you needed, and then the TGA will understand it, it will accept it, it will acknowledge it, and you will graduate. So these are all things that are built already into the system, and you just need to advise, you just need to get proper advice. I had a student who wanted to do a minor in Islamic studies, but he needed a particular class, and he didn't talk to me or any other advisor, but there was one class that you need to fulfill this requirement, which wasn't offered. So he just assumed that this class is not offered, and it might waste his time to fulfill it. And so he dropped the whole program after he has taken a lot of courses. But if he had talked with me or anybody in the department, we would just tell him that you can take another class and it will be accepted in lieu of that requirement. So these are things that you should be aware of.
In short, there is a system, there is structure for everything, but we are here to work with you, and we very much care about your success. So please feel free to reach out and be in touch. Communication is the key here, and wish you all the best.
Yes, and if you need anything, any advice, please come to us. So before we finish, I'll just reiterate that the catalog link that we provided here is very useful, and then the website link here, we put here requirement yet not updated, but now we have updated it in the on the website. In other words, the BA requirement wasn't updated yesterday, but we updated it today. So if you go to our website and you are looking for these requirements that we told you about, you will still find them. Okay, so this is a very useful link. And again, you can keep this, would be recorded, and you can consult it anytime you want. And if you need this roadmap, I can send it to you, contact me, and I'll send it to you individually as well, okay? Or if you just want to look at it here and download it, or keep it for yourself for whatever reason, it's up to you. But we would be happy, I would be happy to send you a copy of this roadmap to serve as your guide. Okay, but no matter what, we encourage that you contact us, even if it is just an email. We can communicate through email. If you want to make appointment through Zoom, we are there. We can advise you through Zoom as well. So just be like Professor Yolika just mentioned, the communication is the key. Just make sure that before you do anything, seek clarification. But one last thing I want to say is, no matter what we advise you, you still need the university advisement office. They also have other important GE advisement, other elective advisement, and also they can advise you regarding our department as well. Okay, so I hope this presentation was helpful to you. And again, we are happy to have you in our department, and we look forward to seeing you and in our classes, and hopefully your objectives for coming to Cal State Fullerton will be fulfilled.
Thank you so much for being with us, and wish you all the success.